Hey there, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. Okay, as the title reflects, this has nothing to do with my workshop. Um, but first off, Annie, the dog I have now, she's going on 10 years old. 10 years ago, I got her from an animal rescue center somewhere. And she was a rescue dog. So, and it was no big deal when I got her. They didn't ask me really much of anything about my experience with dogs or any of that type of stuff. So, she's 10 years old. So, who and I decided maybe we should get another dog and start breaking them in, get a puppy, and break them in so that when she finally has to move on, that we'll still have this other one then that we can keep around. Having a dog as a senior is really a great thing. Anyway, the problem I ran across this time is strange, just because I'm 10 years older. I've been on Social Security for a few years to give you a rough idea how old I am. And what was strange is that first thing I noticed this time is when we were responding to these rescue centers, and I'm not going to be using names here, so if I say a particular brand name of a dog rescue area, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just really referring to any of them because I don't even know the name of the one that I'm dealing with this problems with, but it's more than one. But anyway, we applied for it to several different sites on dogs that we saw that we liked, and the two of them never even responded back, which surprised me. And then the third one said, yeah, they would love to, but they would have to have a required signature from somebody promising to take the dog if I were to pass on. And that got me to thinking, well, first off, that kind of sounds kind of crummy to me. I'd never heard of that before. I know when I got Annie, that was never discussed. But the more I thought about it, the more strange I thought it really was that here they are looking for a rescue for these animals. Good homes. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've been a dog owner for almost my whole life. I probably have owned more than a dozen dogs, never more than one or two type of thing. And they've always been very well taken care of. I take them inside at night. Now my dog runs free with doggy doors, in and out. There goes that foghorn. Must be another tugboat. Anyway, we've treated the dog pretty well. But one thing I have learned by watching other people that own dogs, it seems like the ones that have kids are where the dogs really end up with the worst environment that they're in. They end up putting in the backyard and never allowed in the house. The kids finally get tired of playing with the dog, and the dog is in solitude in the backyard. I've seen that quite often over the years, and I've always thought it was such a shame. They don't really ask you about the dog, but I think that if you were going to be prejudiced a particular group about getting a dog, most hesitant about, I would think that would be people with children, and they're getting the dog for their children. That has got to be a real problem. They really have to be interested in a dog in order for you to get a dog. And my kids, as I got dogs, as my kids were growing up, one of them became very attached to a dog, in the same way I've attached to all my dogs. And the other two were kind of indifferent about it. Well, that'll tell you right now that if I'd only had the two kids, that dog would have been neglected if I didn't take care of it myself. Kids lose interest in that. So you would think that would be the group they would be most hesitant to giving a dog to. But instead, apparently, they're afraid you're going to die when you have that dog. That just seemed so bizarre to me when I heard that. So anyway, I don't know how I'm going to address this issue, because I'm darned if I'm going to ask my kids to co-sign for me so I can get a friggin' dog. But it still kind of irks me, because I honestly believe that older people, the dog-human relationship is really much more dependent on each other. And I think dogs that are owned by older people tend to be better treated dogs than dogs that by younger people, as a general rule. I mean, the bond gets really strong between an owner and their dog as they get up in years. So it just seems strange to me. You would think to give that dog the best shot at having a good life, you would want senior citizens to take on dogs. And it's good for the senior citizen if they have a dog to interact with in their life as they get older. It's amazing how therapeutic that can be. So Anyway, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm not sure how much I'm going to fight it. But this whole thing about no seniors allowed, that's unbelievable in with pet rescuing. And you would think, what do you care who rescues the dog as long as they're not somebody that's going to treat that dog awful? And like I said, I think older people probably tend to give more love to their dogs than younger people do, as a general rule, I believe, for a number of reasons. So, anyway, I thought I'd get that off my chest. I appreciate you stopping by and listening to this. If you've experienced something along this line, you want to leave a comment, I really would love to hear what other people's experience about this whole situation. Is it just a fluke right here in the Midwest? I'm right here between Wisconsin and Illinois on the Wisconsin side of the state line. And so I'm dealing in this area with looking for a rescue pet. And this is what I'm finding right now. And again, maybe it just started up. And 10 years ago, they didn't ask older people like that. But anyway, I'm just kind of curious what's out there before I decide what is going to be my reaction to this whole thing. Maybe someday we'll have another dog. But right now, it looks like it's kind of been put on hold, whether we like it or not. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. I hope this was of interest. Comments, they would be deeply appreciated. Any questions or that, leave them down below. Anyway, if you like this video or you learned something here, hit that like button. Lets me know I'm doing something right. Otherwise, please come back again because I'm nowhere near done. Thanks, and we'll see you guys again very soon.